Hi, I'm Filippo Voltaggio, and welcome to Life Changes. I'm here with Dr. Richard Krawczyk, and he is an author and a speaker, and you have a book coming out about change and discovering a blueprint. So let's talk about that. What's it going to be called, and how can it help us?
It's actually called the Success Blueprint. And I got the idea actually when I was 12 years old. I grew up in a small town outside of Chicago called Lake in the Hills. Population back then was 5,000, so it's a little small town. And there was a house being built at the end of our street. And I saw every single morning they had these people roll out all these papers by a truck and everything. And after about a week, of course, it gets the attention of all the neighborhood kids, because when you have a small town of 5,000, a house going up is like big news for the kids. And they would unroll these papers, and after about a week I went down there. I said, well, who's in charge? And they said, well, this person over here. I said, well, what is that stuff? He goes, well, that's the blueprint. I go, what's a blueprint? He goes, well, you have to do everything perfectly. You have to match up everything perfectly, all the measurements and everything. Otherwise, the heating system may not work, doors may not close, and if the foundation isn't right, the whole house can come crashing down around you. And so that actually started my quest for a success blueprint. What is the common elements that everybody has to have to be successful in life? And it took me quite a few years and a lot of studying and interviewing a bunch of the top people in the world. And I'm actually writing about the Success Blueprint, and that comes out in 2010.
Wow, so it's interesting how we spend so much time on building a house just right. Exactly. And we know why the door isn't closing because the foundation wasn't right or what have you, and we don't spend that kind of time in our lives, for our lives.
No, it's true. And if you think about, most people spend more time planning their 2-week family vacation than they do planning their whole lives. And which is really a shame, because you get kind of caught up in life and you kind of get sucked in what I would call a black hole. And you just get caught up in life with the kids, taking the kids to soccer practice, making dinner, taking your wife to do this or do that, and you're not really working towards the future. You're working for today. Well, in the Success Blueprint, we talk about working for the future using the basic principles that everybody needs to become successful.
So in other words, you could be putting up a window where a window isn't supposed to go because you didn't look at the blueprint, or you're too busy putting up the blueprint of the window and not noticing that everything else that needs to go around it hasn't been put up yet. So basically then you'll have to take the window down to put everything else up. So our lives are not structured, they're not planned.
Exactly, and you brought up a good point about the window, because if you would meet an architect to build you a house, specifically your dream house, and they'd say, okay, great, well, how big do you want your master bedroom? Well, I don't know. Well, how many windows do you want in it? Well, I don't know. Well, how high do you want the windows off the ground? Well, I don't know. And unfortunately, that's how people go through life. They don't plan anything. They kind of go by the seat of their pants. So planning is a big part of everything, because if you're not going to plan it, how do you expect it to happen? So if you're going through life kind of mandy-pandy and you're kind of going by the seat of your pants, that's exactly the result you're going to get. You need to plan things out and follow through with it.
So actually, for those of you who haven't actually built a house or had somebody built it for you, those are the questions they ask you, and painstakingly so, and they want to make sure that you know what you're agreeing to, because that's exactly what you're going to get, or at least approximately around there. So those are good questions to ask when you're planning your life. And so this is going to be a guide, I take it, of as if you were building a house, here you're building your life.
That's exactly what it is about, because there's certain sections in your life people may, whether it be their health, whether it be their relationships, their finances, whatever the case may be, there's different blueprints for different parts of your life. And if you ignore that, it's going to happen anyway. Like they said in the movie The Secret, you may fall down out of a 12-story building, you're going to go splat whether you're a good person or a bad person, because of the laws of physics. So by ignoring this, isn't going to make it go away. It's like by ignoring the letters you get from your bill collectors. Isn't going to make all that stuff go away. You need to pay attention to every single area of your life, and there's a blueprint. People have been successful in every single area of your life, so why reinvent the wheel when you could just change a tire? Okay, this stuff has been around for decades, hundreds of years, and if you try to reinvent the wheel, you're just spinning your wheels. You're just wasting a lot of time. The stuff's already been done. Just follow the exact blueprint that has already been laid out by other people. Why reinvent the wheel?
But we're not living their life, we're living our life. So you're saying that there's a way to do it, and you just put in your ideas or your dreams, your desires.
Exactly. That's the changing the wheel part. Okay. Instead of reinventing the wheel, which is what a lot of people do, just change a tire. Stuff that already works, that's out there. You just change it for your own personality, your own life, your own situation. But the blueprint, the plans are already there. They're in plain sight. They're right in front of you. If you care to not look at it, don't come whining to anybody else because your life is not really what it wanted to be. I was involved in an organization many years ago. I was the youngest guy back in when I was in my 20s, and the youngest lady there was like 65 years old. And you know what? I would just sit and listen to them talk. And they've always said, I wish I could have done this, or I wish I could have done that. I mean, when you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and in your hundreds, do you really want to go through life saying, I wish I could have done this, or I wish I could have done that? No, because you're getting bogged down in life right now. You need to start making some plans and actually going forward towards those plans, using that blueprint in every single area of your life, and you'll be a lot happier, you'll be healthier, fulfilling relationships, and you'll be probably wealthier beyond beyond your dreams.
So listening to other people's successes or listening to other people's mistakes and learning from that. And you've outlined that in a book that's going to be called?
The Success Blueprint, available in bookstores 2010.
And now I saw you in a movie, Pass It On?
I was in Pass It On.
Pass It On. And then you've written another book at least?
Yes. I was the #1 best-selling author of Financial Aerobics. I also have Marketing Zap, the fast and easy way to generating revenues for your business. I also have, I got a few books that I have coming out here really quickly. So yeah, I've already hit #1 on the bestsellers list, and I got a few other things going on.
You're a busy man, and so we're glad you stopped by to talk to us here at Life Changes. This is exciting. We look forward to that, and of course, everything else you have out, more power to you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Richard Krawczyk.
Dr. Richard Krawczyk.
My last name is like, can I buy a vowel, please?
I was going to ask you how to spell it so I could say it, but once you get it, Krawczyk, I can do that. But how do you spell it?
Krawczyk. Can I buy a vowel, please?
I wasn't, and that's what confused you, because you see it and you think, how do I say that again? But just say Krawczyk, and there it is. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure having you.